the other home we had together. I didn't get nothing from it. She got to keep that.
So this is
let me finish. Let me finish. She's getting 5 years, the first 5 years of my pension, of my retirement. She gets that. That's paid. She got half of whatever of the amount of money I had in my 401k, my 457, and my 457 Roth. Correct. She got all of that. I had to cut her a check that day.
Her role is more based on the home doesn't mean that those roles don't have equitable rights.
And well, think about this then. From what you just said, if a woman's value is the home and a man's value is the finances, the woman gets the home and the finances in the divorce.
So let me just say this.
Think about that.
We did it all.
She has a home and the finances in the divorce.
Let me just say this, because both Mistaken and I did a lot of research on this. I mean, state after state, and this is all wrong. Miss Pearlie, woo woo, the men love her, woo. So some of the points that some guys. So some of the points that she was making was how marriage does not benefit men. As far as women leaving. And so I was just trying to get your input on that. And she didn't really go into detail. What she said was that women get paid to leave. And I just wanted to get an idea of what men or people who think that way, what they're thinking when they say women are getting paid to leave.
From the women or from the men?
Either.
I would say from the men's perspective, because I think from what she was saying was that these are the things that men are saying and feel that women divorce or they leave because there is an incentive to leave the relationship.
Well, the problem I have with Pearlie things is she's just throwing out stuff that she has heard. There's no experience. She's just like, yo, this is the reason why men are doing this. Okay, so what do we do about it? So I think that's the biggest problem. We got to stop just throwing out random shit so we can sound right. Men benefit from marriage just like women benefit from marriage. Is it true that women get paid to incentivize to leave? Yeah.
But how? True. Can you elaborate on that? Like, how are women?
Well, you get to take half our stuff.
No, you can't.
If me and you have a baby together,
not a baby. We're talking about marriage, because you don't have to have a baby in a marriage.
Children and marriage go hand in hand.
Not necessarily.
Most likely, nobody's getting married without children. So
what I'm saying to you is, but you cannot have a marriage.
Let me say this. In 90% of the cases, a divorce is going to be the man having to pay child support to the woman, and it's good possibility he's going to have to pay alimony for a couple years to the woman. And it's a possibility that he's going to have to split half of whatever it is that he built with the woman. So since she has custody of the child, she's going to get the majority of the financial benefits that the man created along with the woman.
Okay,
I don't disagree, but if the role of a man is to be a provider, wouldn't that be a given?
Well, not when we ain't together no more. Why I got to provide for a woman I ain't with no more? And to a certain degree,
you just put children in the mix. So if she's still what you put children in the mix.
Well, I said three different things. I said child support, alimony, and then half of his shit. It's three things.
It wouldn't just be half of your stuff, because if you all were together while you acquired it, it would belong to the marriage.
Not
At the end
really.
Of the day, when we talk about marriage, we talk about two people coming together that have to fulfill their own roles. And at the end of the day, if the woman is fulfilling her role and a man is fulfilling his, just because his role is more based on finances and her role is more based on the home, doesn't mean that those roles don't have equitable rights.
Think about this then. From what you just said, if a woman's value is the home and a man's value is the finances, the woman gets the home and the finances in the divorce.
So let me just say this.
Think about that.
We did it all.
She has a home and the finances in the divorce.
Let me just say this, because both Mistaken and I did a lot of research on this. I mean, state after state, and this is all wrong. Okay, what you guys are referring to is and high value man, which we all agree is a small percentage of men. I don't know if you're one, and maybe that's you, and that's the reason why you're talking on it. But we can't sit in one sentence and say, oh, these women are fighting for these few guys, but then we put everybody like they're all one. You understand? At the end of the day, in most households, women are also financially given to that household. So when you say dividing into half, more than likely she's put in half of hers, half of his, because she's paying bills as well. And so it's only fair that you split it down the middle.
That's not always
along
the
with
case.
alimony, along with child support.
Listen, no. First
Because
of all,
even if you take out the half, it's still alimony and child support.
no, it's not.
Majority.
Most people do not. A small percentage of people who are married to men who have, if you go for the classic alimony is classically given to people who stayed at home and he went out to work. If they take both incomes in consideration, he has to make a substantial amount more than she makes. And not only that, it has to be proven that she's not able to make any money. For example, if he marries a pharmacist and he tells her she has to stay at home, but she is a pharmacist, the court is going to take in consideration the money that she is able to make on her own. So this whole, and this is recent, we have dug into it because we're trying to figure out where you guys are coming with this information from. That's not how alimony works. The classic situation with alimony is if the man is the breadwinner and this woman does not have a job, is to protect her. But let's just be real. In most households, women are financially bringing money into the household as well as the man. So it is only right if you're both paying bills to split it down the middle. And that's where the half comes from.
So check this out. This is the reason why I think just pearly things need to sit down somewhere, because the way you broke that down, that I like what you just said. I learned something myself.
And let me just say this. Let me
Hold
just
on, one more thing. Okay. So this is what I'm saying. We men or women, we can't be running around on YouTube talking about giving out blanket statements saying that women are paid to leave and men shouldn't get married and all this other stuff. That's why we had to have these conversations, because like I said, I started this conversation off with her saying that she don't know what the hell she's talking about involving this because she ain't never been there. So I agree with you.
And that's the other thing too, is when you look at the average income, we talk about this a lot about the average income for men and women. Based on that average income, statistics will show you that more than likely you're not going to be paying alimony to someone when the average income is $47,000. You're not going to be paying alimony to anybody with that kind of money. Typically, you have to be in a higher bracket that they're considering in regards to who's going to be responsible for paying any kind of spousal support at that point. So when we keep hearing being incentivized to leave, I think Pearlie has a different perspective because she comes from a different bracket. So in that bracket that may be her experience in terms of who she has been around. But for the average person, they are not going to be doing that. In fact, it was saying most people will not get alimony.
And Black women, especially, the percentage is super small.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Can I speak?
Can I speak? Yes.
Let me talk from experience. So yes, women did get paid to leave. My ex-wife got paid to leave.
How did she get paid? What was it called?
Let me explain. So I had to pay her a certain amount of money to buy her out of my house.
Right, because you're dividing
it. That's just a start.
That's okay. That's different, bro. Okay.
She got to keep the other home we had together. I didn't get nothing from it. She got to keep that.
So this is
let me finish. Let me finish. She's getting 5 years, the first 5 years of my pension, of my retirement. She gets that. That's paid. She got half of whatever of the amount of money I had in my 401k, my 457, and my 457 Roth. Correct. She got all of that. I had to cut her a check that day. At the mediation, I had to cut her a check, and I had to bring my statements in, and then they took it out of my account because if I took it out, I would get penalized.
So let me just say this. So
she got paid. That's not including.
Hold on, let them finish.
That's not included the child support that I had to pay $635 a month for child support for one child. Not for multiple, but for one child. That's what I had to pay. So she got paid. She got a healthy settlement.
So
what state you in, Hink?
No, it's not about so let me answer your question.
This is in Kentucky. I don't know about no other state, but in Kentucky, that's what happened.
So this is all situational. I don't know.
Arkansas too, bro.
This is all. This is the problem. Nobody wants to tell the whole situation. Okay. One, I don't know what her income is in compared to his income. And most
made more at the time.
She made more at the time. He's right there. Just ask him a question.
More money than me. She was an HR manager. She made more money in 2016. Now, of course, I make more money than her now. But 2016 we was already divorced, so it doesn't matter now. But in 2016, she made more than I did.
I think
What
there's
you gotta say now,
obviously
Shan?
situations like that happen. I think what Kante was saying is that it's just not the majority. Like when you look at the majority of these situations, obviously, Hink, to your point, it does happen.
But he was making less money. How was that?
That's not.
If a man is making less than a woman, that would be like the typical man would actually get screwed over.
There's a calculation.
So let me just say this. I understand what Hink's saying that happened to him. But he needs an attorney because that's not the law in Kentucky.
I had an attorney.
So,
that is.
Come on, Shan, don't do the man like that.
I'm just telling you. When I look at, when I
went through it, you trying to dismiss the man's experience.
No, I don't think Shane's trying to do that, right? I think sometimes. And Hink,
his experience. Y'all talking over the man and his experience.
Give me 1 second, because I didn't interrupt.
Can y'all let the man talk?
Like I didn't.
And it's not just his experience. It's not just his experience.
So, but hang on, because here's what I'm trying to get out, right? Hink, I empathize with your experience. I get it. I'm not trying to dismiss that at all. I don't believe that Shan is either, right? But from what I'm hearing of the research that Shan and Mistaken have done, is that you are the exception to the rule, right? It's not. We're just trying
to find out how.
Yeah, we need.
He's the exception to the rule,
right? That's handled in litigation. None of us are. I mean, none of us here on this panel. I mean, at least speaking for myself.
Wait. There is one person on this panel, Hink. If everybody was to be quiet and let Hink explain, because he was the one that was actually involved in this situation. He's the only person on here that can actually explain. Hink
is asking how as well.
But can Hink actually explain his experience? Because he's the only one up here who can. That's all I'm saying. Hink.
So like I said, Chantel, I had a lawyer. So to sit there and say I didn't have a lawyer, now you making it
say that. I didn't say. I said
you sit there and say you need to get a better.
Talk about his experience without y'all just interrupting him.
Okay, so let me just tell you how I do things. Okay, I don't put my life in somebody else's hand. I research things for myself because lawyers are crooked as well. You understand? The law is the law. Listen, the law is the law. It's period. It's in stone. So if you go and the law is on your side, and it clearly states right here that she has to prove that she is not, their incomes are imbalanced. That's what the Kentucky law states, okay? And both incomes, when it comes to spousal support, there are women paying spousal support.
But nobody said anything about paying.
I just have one question. Can we hear the man out?
Listen, I'm not.
Can we just hear the man out? That's all we're saying.
We heard his situation.
No, you didn't. You thinking I said something about spousal? I didn't have to pay spousal.
Let him finish.
No, I said I had to pay child support. That's what I had to pay $630 in child support. $630 every. Well, that's what it totaled up to every month. I had to pay a certain amount out to buy out of my house, right? I also had to pay. She got five for the first 5 years since we've been married over 10 years or more. She's entitled to 5 years of my retirement. I had to give her a half of what I had in my 401k, my 457, and my 457 Roth. She was entitled to that. She was entitled to half of what I had in my savings. I had to give her all of that. She got to keep the other house we had. I didn't get a portion of that. That would even offset. Matter of fact,
and she made more money than him.
1975 Chevy Impala. I paid $2,100. It was a piece of shit before I got it restored. They classified it under a classic car, and the value was, they saying the value was like $30,000. I paid $2,100 for that car. It wasn't value for those $30,000. But guess what?
It sounds like you were more like financially responsible than she was. Did she not have like as many assets and as much in savings as you did, like at the time of the divorce? Because it sounds like everything was like in your name. You had quite a lump sum, like in your
because I invest well.
It kind of sounds like
because I invest well. I put more money. You know, I was aggressive. I put more money in my retirement and my 401k. Yes, I did all that. Was I more than her? Yes. But
that is sad. This man spent all this time investing into his future just to pee it all away.
So let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a question. So he is in it. They call
just piss in the wind.
Property. So basically, I see what he's saying, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. But when we're talking about, but Mr. Lego, how many of your friends are paying alimony?
Well, no, what I was going to say,
my friends are still married.
From his situation, just at the fact that he said that the other house that she got it, like, I don't know, based on what he was saying, but to me right there, that shows that that's not the average situation. Average people are not owning multiple homes. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to take away the fact that he had to give that up. I think the fair thing would have been that he gets one and she gets one. If you want to be fair, if they had multiple homes, that should have been split down the middle. He gets one home, she gets one home. But again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the details of it.
Or
but
Carly thinks was on to something.
They all said it because that's why I didn't have to pay as much of a buyout. That's what they did. So my buyout wasn't as much. It probably would have been 3 times as much as it would have been if.
Did you have a prenup?
So
did you have a prenup?
No.
Just speaking
the answer to all of this, get a damn prenup, so you ain't got to give up half your shit, man.
Now speaking of
hell, if I get married and I don't get no damn prenup.